Pizza presents SCP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
Okay.
What?
Well, we're not ready there. We're gonna let Jesse start. So.
I walked in the studio today, and I sat down, and I saw that someone left a nice advertisement for HomeSense and their nice bedroom collection in front of my seat.
That's good.
I was going to pull it out. And I looked, and it was like...
You mean my save the date for my wedding?
Just pillow fighting, standing on the bed, like couples do.
We've done that.
Do you know the story behind this, Steve?
I think, you know what it was? It was Adam and Caprice were feeling like frisky, but like in a playful way.
Right.
And they decided, let's have one of our patented stand on the bed pillow fights.
I have to tell you, and Jesse, I hope
the
it was
true story.
Are you going to post the picture?
No, hold on. About the picture. About the picture. No, I just want to throw it out. I think it's unfair that Caprice is fully dressed in this and I'm in my pajamas. First off, I think that's completely unfair, and I told her so when we did that.
I think it's
Lilith-
embarrassing for her. You're in proper
linen pajamas.
casual Sunday morning pillow fight attire. What did she put on the Ritz for?
I hope you put this up on. Put it up online.
No, it's already on the internet.
Oh, is it? Okay.
You posted it.
What do you type in? Adam Wilde pillow fight?
No, it's on my Instagram.
Did you not post it?
Yeah, I did. I know.
Okay.
I mean, but insert it into the YouTube channel so people can see it.
So the story behind this is Adam, for years, all the years I've known him, decades, centuries, making fun of people
I don't think that's true.
taking wedding photos.
Engagement photos,
Engagement photos, and saying he'll never do it.
I did
I don't
say
know
that.
if there's a cool way
And
of
I
doing
sit
it.
down, and he produces an
they
ad
are.
for HomeSense.
So
That is really a
So Jesse is correct, and I'm just going to have to swallow this one. There's no other way around it. I am a hypocrite, and I'll tell you, the only great wedding shot I ever saw was you and Mrs. Dangle skipping and holding hands in the mall or whatever you guys did at outside Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yeah, just because, I don't know, just being
It's so
idiots,
dumb.
basically.
But my problem with engagement
purpose.
photos was probably what was created by the ones we did. At least Caprice and I do have pillow fights. What I always think is like, why are people that live in the city sitting on a tractor, or standing in a field of wheat, or underneath an apple tree?
Standing in a field of wheat.
Always in it, like tall grass or wheat. There's people standing. I bet 5 of your friends right now, if you to check their engagement photos, have a shot of them in tall grass or wheat. Why? Why? You're city dwellers. What are you doing in a farmer's field, man? Did you ask the farmer?
That's why I did Hockey Hall of Fame.
Right, because it had something to do with you.
Yeah, and nothing to do with my wife. But I mean, we were 1 for 2, so
Right.
I think that's pretty good.
That's halfway.
I don't even remember whose idea that was. It might have
Anyway,
been hers.
it does look like a HomeSense ad. I thought the photographer did an amazing job. That took like 20 minutes, and we were in and out done. I fought that tooth and nail, by the way. I did not make that
pillow
easy.
fight.
Caprice was about to divorce me before the wedding.
Looks like you really hammered her.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. I mean, I fought the actual photo shoot happening. I was like, I do not want to do this.
You won the pillow fight.
I definitely won that
I don't
too.
believe that. I believe deep down you wanted.
No,
to do
ask her.
this.
She was like, she actually at one point jokingly, but half jokingly said to me, she's like, I don't know why I'm going to marry you. Because she was like, I was being difficult. And because I hated that stuff. But I thought it turned out pretty cool.
What do I do with this?
You keep it and you put it on your fridge until the actual invitation comes. You don't fold it in half though, because that's a beautiful picture.
Oh my God.
Save the date. Oh.
I got a fit in my pocket.
You're a bad friend, Jesse.
It has to be pocket
I hope your computer
size.
breaks down for you
Wow.
now.
Save the date is the promise ring of what.
Yeah, I don't understand why we're doing it, but that's what everybody else
doing
did.
it because it's
Where do I?
some of the frilly shit that you have to do when it comes to your wedding.
Oh my God, I hate it.
They forgot to mark the price of the lamp. I don't know. It should say, $19.99.
It's hilarious.
They put it in Swedish, I think. It's actually
Do I have to assemble this one myself?
lamp.
The two of you can
It's
just
pronounced lamp.
both of you can fuck right off, okay? Jesse, I can't wait to see your engagement photo. I can't wait to see it when it happens one day.
Yeah, a smileless, just arms at his side.
No, it'll be
pissed
him.
off.
It'll be his
No, that'll
peace
be the
signs.
back.
Right.
No, I think I'd do it over the top.
Would you?
I'd get the tractor.
Oh,
and
God.
I do complete
I
opposite.
hope
of
you
who
do
I
the
am.
tractor and in the middle of the field, like
Yeah.
farming a field, but it better be a big tractor, like a turbine. Like it better be like a massive motherfucker of a tractor, not one of
think-
those old classy ones.
No, it's going to be Jesse with like a top hat and like a suit with coattails.
Yes.
And he's going to be driving. He's going to be riding a horse-drawn carriage, and
Yep.
the driver is a tiger.
And there's gonna be no fiance, just me.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Oh, I
for
like
sure,
that.
just him.
Just me.
Just no, and she's like pushing.
Just to be a complete jerk.
But you can't even see that she's pushing.
No.
just know that she is pushing.
She's
Yes.
there. You just see like the wedding dress kind of coming out the back or something like that.
Okay, yeah, maybe give it
That
a
way you
little-
like, you get to see it but not see it.
right,
Right.
right.
It's terrible. You sound like there's no way any girl that you date is going to be okay with that. But good luck with
I
it.
want
They'll never
someone
do
to
it.
Photoshop that picture and make the bride, if you choose to show the bride, Lana Del Rey. I think. Well, okay. If Jesse's gonna marry someone like today, it's Lana Del Rey. I'm
Is
pretty
it?
sure.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Who's your wife?
Did you see her recent interview, by the way? I guess she used to have an American flag playing during, was it National Anthem or one of the other songs that she does? And now she's like, well, I go to France now and I can't do that because the system's changed and it doesn't seem right. I'm like, oh, and the Mashable headline was like, Donald Trump has changed your Lana Del Rey concert experience. I was like, fuck everyone in this.
Two things.
So dumb.
Two things. You have an American flag on your T-shirt.
You do.
I do.
The really little one, but it's upside down.
I do. I think it's Levi's or something.
It looks very nice.
Or Ralph Lauren or whatever.
Two. What was that Vice thing you posted yesterday? That reminded me of that.
Did you watch that? I tweeted something out that said Vice has hit peak Vice, and essentially,
Which one was it? Was
it's
it
this-
Vice doing an expose on Vice? Because that's the final one. That's the final one, and I haven't seen it yet, but that's
No.
the final one.
So the premise of the video, you know Robin Hood, right?
I know Robin
You
Hood well.
tweeted it? Oh,
You know Friar Tuck from Robin Hood. You remember his haircut?
Yes, watch your language.
So they took Friar Tuck's haircut, this electronic DJ from French Canada, from Quebec, and he's got Friar Tuck's haircut, and he's our age. So already you're like, okay.
He's different, man.
And they take him. He's different, man. He's so different. He's
like,
super different.
It's like the rest of you have good-looking haircuts. Not this guy.
Not this guy, no.
No, he's unique.
So he goes out to the store with Vice to the
Tell me when I can show Steve.
is it a vintage store? It's like a vintage store, like a
A thrift shop.
thrift shop, and they're looking for his next sample. So French electronic DJ with bad haircut, and the comments are obviously all about his hair because Vice viewers are not any more elevated than anybody else, right? They just probably think they are, and it is like you got to see it, you got to watch it.
When's the hockey coming? Some of you are asking. Don't worry,
It's
it'll
coming.
come.
It's coming.
It'll come. No. Wait. So this idiot with his idiot haircut is just recording like.
He's like recording like
Oh
if
my
you
God.
take a tennis racket and scrape it across the table. That's
He's
his,
literally
that's
at
his
a
sample.
thrift shop trying to find music.
And they're
through
recording
the
it for him.
objects.
Is the owner of the store going like, "Are you gonna buy any of this shit?" Or it looked like he did buy it. I don't even know.
Anyway,
This is also one of those stores that you will find in like downtown Toronto where like you ever walk into a store and you're like, what do they sell?
yeah,
Yeah.
tons of them.
Well, I walked into a store in Halifax and I'm like, what do you sell? You're a candle / goofy
Shot
lawn
glass.
shit, shot glass. Oh, you have some clothes
Okay.
as well.
That have lobsters on them because the East Coast.
Yes, and
Kitschy shit.
It's called a general store.
no. A general store
Has food
like,
and newspapers
No,
and
no,
malted
lottery
chocolate
tickets.
milkshakes.
It's the new general store.
Right.
It's a thing. There's a lot of them on West
Anyway,
Queen
we
West.
should probably stop playing that because we can't include it
Yeah,
in the
that's-
video.
that's
But
awful.
just so you know, Vice had hit peak Vice, I
This
think, with
friggin'
that.
guy is literally just walking around the store banging on shit.
Yeah.
That he's not buying.
Then he's finding his new sample, man.
Madden. Just finding his new sample, Madden. With his haircuts.
They're different.
Yeah.
Vice, we're
you,
different.
You guys have
you guys.
mohawks, and I got like a reverse one.
So
Yeah, I look like
different.
George Costanza's son. Idiot.
their news is amazing, but sometimes their
In
other
Quebec?
shit. No, Vice News is pretty
Oh.
amazing. But sometimes their other shit. I'm like, what is happening?
What a dumbass. Sorry.
Vice News in Quebec might be good too. I don't know. That's where they started.
Vice.
Anyway, good times. Okay, we have hockey stuff to get to. We have Phil Kessel stuff to get to because there is there is a bit of a ridiculous this Phil Kessel narrative, man.
Oh, I love it.
It's the
I didn't
ridiculous
know. Okay.
narrative. It's crazy.
I'm so happy.
We also got to talk about Connor Brown and that contract because I have a couple questions based on what we know about summer LTIR, which now exists, which we didn't know existed.
And may not have existed
and
before the
may
summer,
not have
but
existed until
apparently
Lou
it does.
Lamoriello,
Or
figured
may
some-
not have existed in its current form. Yada yada yada. It's always funny when Cap Friendly kind of gives up on something. Because like if you look, I'm pretty sure Horton or who is it that they put on LTIR? Horton?
I think it's Horton.
That would make the most sense. I don't think they have him under LTIR. Because they're just like, oh, for crying out loud.
Well, yeah.
We're trying to figure out
I
too
don't
much.
think it was in the public rules. Like when they issued the rule book, I don't think publicly that came out. It said you can't go 10% above the cap. And I'm sure the Leafs just went to them and said, listen, well, we'll get into it.
Yep, sure.
But we have some things to talk about. But first, Steve, you wanted the floor, so go ahead.
Yes, we're gonna get heavy, and I'm sorry. Okay, well, listen for an escape. Shut up. We're gonna get heavy for 5 minutes.
Fuck you and your escape.
Fuck you and your escape. We're gonna get heavy for 5 minutes. Give us those 5 minutes, then it'll be done. Okay, you're gonna be uncomfortable. You're gonna be Jesse.
Do you want me to set a stopwatch?
Probably a good idea.
Actually, sure.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, let me. Oh, you can do it on your computer because technology. All right. I won't start until you start
Stopwatch.
the stopwatch.
5 minutes. Ready?
It's already started.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Mom. No, I'm waiting. Look,
He's killing us time.
I know. So in the wake of the whole Chester Bennington thing, so obviously you know the lead singer of Linkin Park killed himself. That was about a week ago now. Adam did a really heartfelt thing on the radio. Dude, that was amazing, first of all.
Well, thanks.
Are we
Appreciate
gonna
that.
like play that as
Yeah,
part of the...
you can play one. It doesn't have to take up your 5 minutes.
No, we'll put it.
No.
Yeah, we'll put it
Or
at
we
the.
can just-
You know what? If you want to listen to it, we'll put it at after the extra.
Sure. Yeah, there you go.
That way you know
Yeah,
where to
there you
find
go.
it. Yeah.
It was really good. And also, if it makes you uncomfortable, you know when to turn off the podcast.
Sure.
immediately.
Yeah.
No, but it was really good and it was really heartfelt. And you posted that. Well, you said it live on the air on Kiss 92.5, and it became a somewhat viral clip because it was really good. And you were talking about. Well, here. Do you want to explain it? It's your clip.
Oh, it's just what I find and what I found amazing about that situation, in a tragic situation, is how one disease can make even a person like that who has millions of people literally that love him, millions
Right.
of people.
Yeah.
He still felt alone. So the rest of us is like holy shit! Like that is a wall to climb. And having had people in my life go through that, I don't think I definitely had anxiety attacks along the line, but I've never had like full on depression in the way that these people have. I can't imagine what you go through, but I can tell you what it was like to be alongside it, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
So anybody who's a support worker out there too, feel you, man. It's rough.
Oh, they go through. Yeah.
So
yeah,
rough.
Yeah. I know a few of those too. And yeah, I mean, they're like a therapist for people, and they need their own therapy because it's a rough go. So here, let me just out and say this. Around, I would say May 2016, I started to feel really shitty. So I would often like go into a funk or something, and it would be really bad, but it would last like, I don't know, a week or two, and then it would go away, and then I would feel like myself again. June, I didn't feel like myself. July, I didn't feel like myself. August, I didn't feel like myself. And August is when it really started getting very, very bad. September, October, November, and then finally in December, I was like, enough. I need to go friggin' find help. So I'll just straight up say it. I went and saw a therapist. And best decision I made in 2016. Best decision ever. I needed it. It was, I guess what they called it was basically, I thought it was depression. It was anxiety. No. It was, depression caused by anxiety. So anxiety was my big problem. Like, you feel it. When they talk about mental health and physical symptoms, I remember the first time I read that, I'm like, really? Like, I was skeptical because I don't know, I never shared that experience. Holy shit, yeah, man. Yeah, it's real. It's real. You feel it in your chest. It's like someone... someone has a hand in your chest and is squeezing from the inside. It's awful. It's friggin' awful. But I went and got help, and I mean, it fixed it for me. I'll probably go back, just get some checkups. And it's not like I went once. I went a bunch of times. If you need the help, here's the reason I'm bringing this up. It's not about me. If you feel like you need the help, if you're pretty sure you need the help, if you're skeptical as to whether or not you need the help, if you need that push, in my opinion, you should go get it. You should go get it for sure. You won't regret it. What held me back from doing it for like about 2 months, I should have done it probably at least 2 months sooner than I did, was I felt ashamed. I didn't want to go. And then after I went, I still felt ashamed. And it took me a very long time to tell my friends. It took me a long time I told to both of you, but it took a while. I told my parents last week. You know, it just, I don't know. I don't exactly know how to explain that, but
Well, I do. I can tell you my side of that,
sure.
Which is
How
I
are we doing
remember.
for time? Did we ruin it?
We're at 4:20.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, we're gonna go a little late, but I remember Steve coming to me.
Do we have an extra 69 seconds on top of 420?
Can I just be straight about what happened? Can we just be honest about what happened?
What?
About what happened with how I found out what you were going through? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna tell you.
Okay.
It was your wife that reached out to me and said,
that's
"Listen,
right.
you gotta push him to do this."
Yeah.
And I did this when I was like 18, 19. I went through a really rough stage. I was drinking a lot. I was in a rough spot. I was 50, 60 pounds overweight, not a happy camper, completely lost.
Guys, I'm gonna lose weight with Jack Daniels.
I was a mess. I was a total fucking mess. And what was interesting was that, I've been open about it, but every time I brought it up in my early 20s, people kind of give you that look like, ooh,
What's
you're
going on
damaged
here?
goods, man. And I knew I wasn't, but I didn't really talk about it openly and whatever. But I remember talking to you in my elevator at my house on King Street and telling you, you've got to do this. And you were like, yeah, I know, and whatever. And I could sense that there was some sort of shame with that.
Yeah.
And it's funny, every person that I've encountered that has that shame, after they go, completely goes away and they get it. But it's taking that first step to go.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I bring that up, Steve, is because I'm glad you went. I'm proud of you for going. It takes time and thought, and it's exhausting. But when you do go, it's a humongous release. Like, it is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's not the cure-all. It's not the cure-all.
I mean, some people need medication. I was lucky.
Absolutely.
I didn't. They gave me some in case I have like a real
bout.
Anxiety attack. I haven't taken it. I haven't needed it. It's shitty, man.
It is.
It's really shitty. So, and let me wrap it up with a couple things. There was one funny story in the middle of that. So when I finally opened up to Adam about all that, I was like, yeah, man, I really, I think it's time. I need to, go seek help. I need to go to a therapist. Adam's like, yeah, I've noticed a change in you in the last 2 years, which was really concerning to me because I had only felt down for about 6 months. I never, when you said it, I'm like, yeah, man, yeah.
Did I say 2 years? Did I say 2 years?
You said last couple of years. I was like, oh.
Well, what I had noticed was ups and downs.
Yeah, totally.
And I wasn't...
Which, I don't know, I think that's normal. I don't know.
Right, but I think that was rearing its head early, and then you were coming out of it and coming back into it.
This was a down, with a shovel.
Yeah.
I just, there's new depths to this awfulness. This sucks. And what also amazed me was how many people I spoke to and opened up to about it were like, oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And some of them were just like, you should have never felt that way, man. You should have never felt the shame in going to get help. And others were like, I don't know how to word it. Pleasantly surprised. They weren't happy that I went through that, but they were happy that they
were
weren't
dealing
alone.
with it. Yeah.
So this is me opening up to you, the listener. And if you need the help, I think you should go get it. When you're with the therapist, it's going to be hard to open up. I recommend opening up as much as you can. I'm not a mental health expert. It helped the sessions to be as open as possible. So, yeah, if you need that push, there's your push.
There you go.
Go do it.
Boom.
Now, fun.
Okay.
You guys went 8 minutes and 5 seconds.
Whatever.
69, 420. I'm sorry.
So
Nice.
we'll start with the big news of the day, which is Colorado Avalanche have signed Matt Nido to a $1 million contract.
Oh, Matt Nieto.
And apparently,
Yes, yes.
when he found out he was about to become a millionaire, he said Nido. I had to.
I heard he hit the mat.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Is there really any truth to the Phil Kessel narrative that there needs to be a, quote, Phil Kessel whisperer? Because now that Mark Recchi has taken over as an assistant coach in Pittsburgh, like...
I thought we tackled this.
I know, but it's come up again.
There's a new one, huh?
Yeah, because
Oh my God.
again, they thought about, well, now Talkett's gone, maybe Kessel gets traded, and Recchi's in there, and they've got the quote from Mark Recchi, and it says, "I've actually been around the past couple of years and spent a lot of time with Phil, especially during his first year here. I spent time with Phil because we've had that opportunity to play together in Boston, and we had a good relationship there. We get along great. He's a great guy. He's a fun guy. He's a heck of a player, and he's got a great hockey mind, and I look forward to working with him."
Sounds like a real liability. They got a player for what, 6-7 years with a $6.8 million cap hit who needs an assistant coach to rub him on the shoulders and say, "Hey, Phil, calm down."
Who's already won 2 cups
be a
and
nice
led the
guy.
team in scoring.
Yes. No, well, I'm talking about even before that.
Oh, yeah.
When they traded for him, hey, listen, this guy's nuts. Like, this guy is, like, completely, you can't work with him. Complete liability. But I tell you what, Rick Tocchet has some magical friggin' Yu-Gi-Oh powers that he's gonna tame this monster. I should have gone with Pokemon. Why didn't I go with Pokemon? Here it is. Rick Tocchet.
Used hypnotize.
He used hypnotize. No, he has all 8 badges.
Wow.
See, most coaches like Ron Wilson and Randy Carlisle, they only had like a few badges.
Yeah.
But like you can't just have the Thunder badge to deal with Phil Kessel. He's not going to listen to you. He's going to be like Charizard. You gotta have all the other ones. I
Can you
forget
imagine
the name of some of
if
them.
he was one of Ash Ketchum's Pokemon and they drop Phil Kessel off in the land of the Phil Kessels?
Phil Kessel.
because there's the Charizard like land.
There's a Phil Kessel daycare, just like Jerry Daycare and Charizard Daycare. It's all the same. Yeah,
It seems
a bunch
a bit-
of people who are the same.
It seems a bit like a stretch to me. It seems like a bit like summer hockey stories.
Okay, we've been hearing this for way too long. So maybe there's something to it. Maybe. But I just thought it was funny that the Penguins went out of their way in 2016 when they won to be like, I just want to say what an honor it was to play with the legend Phil Kessel. And that was Bonino and Hagelin
And
on
Obama.
the mic. Sorry?
And Obama.
Well, I mean, that's his joke writer. I don't know if he was super up to date on Penguins and hockey memes, but at very least, Bonino and Hagelin went to bat for him. I think Brian Rust dressed as a hot dog for Halloween
So
and
great.
took a picture with Phil. So I got to imagine the Penguins are fans of him. So what's the problem here? Like, the guy is number one in what, 4 or 5 categories over the last 2 playoff runs, both of which ended up in a cup.
Yeah.
I don't know. They say they have their guy in Mark Recchi. Maybe it's just maybe this is the kind of story you release where there's already a perception of Phil and it's just to make Penguins fans feel better.
Doesn't that further the perception, though? That he's going to have to get
Yeah,
special
but it's
treatment?
there. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're not going to fight it.
Yeah, it's there. And you won 2 cups, so what does it matter that it's there? It's just to make them feel better because I saw a lot of Penguins fans go, ooh, when they lost Tocchet. They understood that it was the price of being an elite team is you lose people within your organization. But it made them feel better. Mark Recchi. It's basically the same. It's a wash. I don't know. That's the only logical solution I can come up with. Or Kessel's a pain in the ass. In which case, isn't this an example of why sometimes it's good to keep a player who's a pain in the ass if they're good enough?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I ran into a Montreal Canadiens fan at a barbecue this weekend.
How did that go?
They sure
What was
are.
Amir doing in the middle of that barbecue?
They sure are optimistic people.
Oh.
And okay, Markov still hasn't re-signed.
Who needs Andre Markov when you got Mark Straight?
Right?
Just signed.
Yeah.
700,000.
Not that again, the funny thing with Montreal is I don't expect them to be bad. I just think...
I don't think we've ever said that.
No, I don't think we have either. I expect them to not win the Cup. And they expect to win the Cup. Or they seem to expect to.
I think you need a certain amount of things to put yourself in a position where you can win the Cup. Montreal can win the Cup. If you got the best goalie in the league, you can win the Cup. Any year. I just don't think it's the greatest strategy in the world.
Fair. Claude Giroux. I'm pulling a lot of this stuff from
Did he get arrested again?
Mr. Luke Fox. No.
What's different?
So Claude Giroux makes $8.25 million a year.
Hey.
He's our age. He's 29.
Okay.
And he is coming off his least productive season. He didn't miss a game, got 14 goals and 58 points.
Still pretty good.
Sparking some trade rumors. Not bad. But what Jeremy Roenick had to say was this.
What did he say?
The reason Claude Giroux doesn't get success is because he lets everything get into his mind and he looks for other things to blame it on. Is it possible that maybe the Flyers just weren't that great last year, and even though he got 58 points, which is still pretty respectable, although you would hope an $8 million player is a point-a-game player, unless they're a defenseman, is it possible that they just weren't that great? I mean, they almost made the playoffs. But they weren't that great.
Yeah, I think people tend to overanalyze things. Like the Flyers didn't have trouble scoring goals, did they?
I don't think so.
He had a bit of a down year, but I don't think they had trouble scoring goals. Jesse, are you on that? Whenever I see the fingers activate, I'm like, yeah, info. No, their problem was keeping the puck out of their net. And I think they had some injury trouble too. Like Wayne Train had a wicked year. I don't think goal scoring
And they've got
was
some
the problem.
great young players coming up. Like, I really think that they're going to be scary one of these days.
The Flyers?
Yeah.
Today. They're scary today. Like,
They're back to being almost a dominant team, I would think, pretty soon.
Yeah, in the same way that a really elite goalie can make any team a contender, a really bad performance in net can make any team miss the playoffs. And that happened with the Flyers last year.
The Philadelphia Flyers finished tied for 20th in goals for per game.
Oh, that's surprising.
Yeah.
How far behind, like, a middle-of-the-pack team were they?
They had 2.59 goals for per game, and Nashville, who finished 11th, had 2.9.
Okay, that's surprising. I didn't know that. Now, how are they in the goals against category? I got to imagine they were one of the worst.
Goals against per game? Let's find them.
They're going to be good. They're going to be better.
They were 10th.
Get out of here!
Goals against per game.
That's weird.
You're lying. No way.
Are you sure?
No, maybe I'm sorting backwards. Hold on.
Oh.
Were you sorting backwards on the goals for, too?
No, goals for, I had it correct.
Okay.
All
I was like, what?
Goals against per game, they would have been, what is that? 19th then.
Oh,
2.8.
okay. Okay, so they weren't as bad as I thought. So by that ranking, goal scoring was the problem.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you
Okay. No, I wouldn't have thought that. I think the Flyers' bigger issue is Ron Hextall divulging information. Did you see all this?
No, what happened?
Okay, so I was just trying to gather what was going on from Flyers fans' tweets, and I can't. Jesus, I wish I remember who it was. But it was basically, supposedly Ron Hextall had a bit of a Lou Lamoriello policy when it came to injuries and wasn't into divulging very much. Threw that out the window when it came to Nolan Patrick. Because I can't remember what it was. I can't remember if it was his face or his abdomen. I think it was his abdomen.
He's an infected face, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's out because they had to remove a bunch of cysts. It's like, oh,
That's rough.
If you're Nolan Patrick, come on, Ron. Just shut up, dude.
I guess the reason he would have done that is if you told him they had surgery done, people would be like, is it his knee? Is it his whatever? You know.
Oh, I suppose. And a cyst is, you just remove it. I don't know if
a cyst
there's
is pretty, especially if it's a benign cyst, it's not a big deal. But if it's, you have to watch that sort of stuff because it can become precancerous or something like that.
Yummy.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, but I don't know. If I were Nolan Patrick, I'd be like, maybe don't.
Well, I get why he
Maybe don't
did.
say
I
that.
get why he did, though.
I get
it
it
makes
too.
sense. My favorite quote of the whole week, and I think they're going to be a fun team to watch just because I'm really not sure what they're doing.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
No, Las Vegas. So
We haven't heard from them for
George
a very long
McPhee.
time, eh?
George McPhee said of his defense corps, "We're at a manageable number right now.
No, you're not.
Under contract currently with the Vegas Golden Knights are 11 NHL defensemen.
Who do we got?
That does not include Nate Schmidt. I will.
They still haven't signed him, huh?
No, they haven't. So the only two defensemen that are signed into after next year are Griffin Reinhart and Brad Hunt. So it's sort of funny to look at it and go, okay, so their defense right now: Garrison, Spiza, Stoner, McNabb, Merrill, Miller, Engelland, Theodore, Reinhart, Hunt, and Schmitz and RFA.
There's a good core in there somewhere.
I think so too.
Yeah?
But I don't see how you could say that it's down to a manageable number.
I still wonder what's going on there. And there's a lot of free agents that probably shouldn't be.
Right.
Like, I wonder if Vegas is what's holding that up.
What do you mean?
I just wonder. Like, well, if teams are going, okay, should we bother signing this guy? Should we bother with a guy like Markov, for example, who's old and asking for 2 years and a lot of money? Or is there someone we can get from Vegas for a nominal fee?
Right.
Now, Montreal already kind of did that. Doesn't mean they can't do it again. Jesse, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at their cap friendly. Why haven't they done anything?
Vegas, like, they can't go into next season with that, can they? I mean, I guess they can.
But
We haven't had a team, an expansion team in the cap
It
year.
just kind of sounds like they will.
I know. We're not used to teams just bravely going into the season that bad.
out of their 9 signed defensemen, so excluding their RFA, 2 of them are under contract after next year.
Which, that's probably like just something expansion teams go through and we kind of forgot.
Yeah.
Like, my concern that I think was an under-talked about point, and I think we brought it up on the show, is, like, how many of these guys are actually stoked to be Golden Knights? They probably didn't like getting ripped from their team. Like, a lot of these guys signed contracts with their team and they were happy to be
Except
there.
for Derek Engelland, who willingly signed
Yeah,
there.
Derek Engelland was fine. Mark Mathot
Has been traded.
Oh, wait, no, he's a star
been
now,
traded,
so never
yeah.
mind. So that's out. Yeah, I was like, oh, no, he showed up with the team and put the jersey on. Oh, that was the Stars. That was it. No, that was the wrong team. Yeah, just looking at what they got. It says 13 forwards. 2 of them aren't real.
Yeah.
Grabowski and Clarkson.
David Clarkson not playing for you.
Yeah, Clarkson's, I think he's never going to play again, right? And Grabowski may. Sounds like he may. I don't know if he will, though. And then if you go to their minor league guys, Tuck might make the team. Alex Tuck.
What about Brandstrom?
Brendan Leipzig is in there. But yeah, I wonder if one of their brand new draft picks makes it in there. Eric Brandstrom. He's still 17 years old.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Can you play in the NHL when you're 17?
I don't know.
Oh, he turns... you want to take a stab at this guy's birthday? What year he's born? He's born September 2nd.
Not 2000.
Thank God. 1999.
Whew.
Yeah, man.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Nick Suzuki's still 17. Yeah, I mean, it's...
17 non-roster players. They still got a bunch of guys to sign. But aren't they splitting their minor league team?
With who?
I want to say the Blackhawks? Or was it the Blues?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyway, they still got some guys. Look at all those picks! That's insane. Oh, my God.
It's crazy.
I feel like going in, we were like, they could be competitive. There's so much potential there.
They chose not to be.
And now we sit here in almost August, and the team is garbage.
I don't know. I think Vegas is just Halo Reach, and they're just holding the fort for Master Chief. You know, just waiting for the Brandstroms, Suzukis, you know, guys of that nature.
Players of that nature.
Players, Eric Brandstrom, guys of that nature. And they're just going to build the team through the draft, which they probably should. Next year, they got a first, a second, no third. They don't have their own 4th, but they have Pittsburgh's. They got their own 5th and Carolina's and their own 6th, no 7th. The year after, their own 1st, 3 seconds, 3 thirds, a 4th, 2 5ths, a 6th, and a 7th. And then even the year after that, a 1st, 3 seconds.
Can you even use that many draft picks?
You can't. There's so the roster limit is 50. Mm-hmm. The amount of guys you can just own the rights to, I think, is 90.
Okay.
Which the Leafs have to be close.
Yeah. Which I want to get to. But first, I think we need to talk about Mika Zibanejad actually signed with the Rangers.
A bunch of people have signed, yeah.
5-year, $26.75 million deal.
So it's over 5 per.
It's funny because it was reported, I think, yesterday or the day before that they were really far apart. And then all of a sudden, next day they got it. So I wonder what changed there.
I think it's because it's rich people negotiating with rich people. And at some point, like...
we're both rich.
$400,000 I'm leaving on the table per year, but I'm rich and I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Fair enough.
Imagine leaving $2.5 million on the table because you wanted to go golf. I think that happens more often than you think.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you want your team to win, like Connor McDavid. Ron McLean even came out and said, by the way, that at Smash Fest during an interview that Connor McDavid is underpaid.
I mean, he is. He's definitely underpaid. Mm-hmm. It's just funny. God bless you, Connor McDavid, for only being the highest paid player in the league by $2 million. It's like, God bless you.
Amazing.
I didn't get to meet Ron McLean.
No?
No, I wanted to, but he was playing. He was in the middle of a ping pong game with Sam Bennett and Matthew Tkachuk. And
apparently he lost.
He did. Once the game ended, he just got mobbed for pictures, and then he left early.
Of course. Brian Dumoulin re-signs with the Penguins. I think this is a pretty good deal. It'll run through, it's 6 years. He's 25. $4.1 million a year. Not bad.
This is my one hope that there won't be a lockout, is the new trend seems to be sign everyone for a reasonable in-the-middle price. Forever, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. High risk, high reward, basically. If any of these guys, Victor Arvidsson, what an amazing deal the Predators have him signed to.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
If he takes the wrong knock to the head, wrong knock to the knee, breaks his femur, something crazy like that, all of a sudden, you got a bit of an albatross.
Jeez, Steve.
I know.
Wow.
What if the deer dies anyway?
7 years, $4.25 million a year. It's a good contract.
It's like the Zaitsev deal. If Zaitsev turns into something, then he's more than 4.5, then it's all fine.
If not, it's off to Rovida Island with him.
Then he's here till 2025.
Forever and ever.
Yeah.
You know what? The Rick DiPietro contract could have been really good. Mm-hmm. There was a while where it looked like it was going to be pretty good.
Injuries kind of.
Can you imagine if the Islanders still had like a league average goalie, an above league average goalie, this entire time locked up to what was he getting paid? $4 million? $4.5 million? It's a good deal.
Yeah, his name's Roberto Luongo. He's playing in Florida. He was the Islanders first, though.
Oh.
What if 5 years ago the Canadiens signed Carey Price to like 4.25 for 12 years?
Forever.
And they were just sitting on that.
I got to imagine like certain agents have to be like, nah, you don't need security that bad. Carey.
Well, JVR's got to be one of those guys who's like, all right, I'm ready. Mm-hmm. Pay up, kids.
Yeah.
One more deal.
He's been underpaid for like 3 years at least.
He's going to be great this year
4
because
years.
This is the opportunity now, right? This is his opportunity. He's getting, not only that, because he has been great.
Can we please get playoff JVR all year?
That would be fantastic.
Oh, please.
I hope they hang on to him and he just walks away at the end of it and gets paid obnoxious amounts of money by another team.
That's fine.
But I hope we get playoff JVR all year. I'm happy with
Great.
that. If we get nothing for him, fine. I don't hate it.
Unless something really smart comes up.
Yeah, but if
I don't know what the Leafs are doing. I don't.
Well, and then, okay, so let's talk about it. Connor Brown, we now have, they're one contract away from the edge. They're at 49, I believe, and he would be 50. They have a player on summer LTIR.
Yes.
And they can then go up 10% above that. Why has this deal not happened yet?
I don't know. I get the impression it's not a tremendous rush. It wasn't a huge story coming out of Smash Fest. I think a couple people asked him, but he wasn't really into talking about it.
Of course not.
He's palling it up with Zach Hyman, Dominic Moore, Connor Carrick. Seemed to be having a good time, didn't seem to be preoccupied. I guess he's just not in a terrible rush. Maybe they have some kind of agreement where it's like, hey, we might do some finagling. Just trust that we'll sign you. Lou said he's going to be there in October. What are the Leafs going to do? Get rid of Connor Brown for nothing?
No.
Let him walk?
What if somebody offer sheets him?
And what if Santa Claus takes over for the Easter Bunny? Imagine Santa Claus drops his pants and lays a chocolate egg.
I am blown away that nobody has come in and offer sheeted him.
That's the same likelihood.
How has nobody offer sheeted him? It's a 20-goal scorer.
Does no one offer sheets anybody? First of all, you want to offer sheet Lou Lamoriello?
I don't know, man.
You want to see what hellfire and brimstone looks like?
Offer him $5 million.
You go right ahead. No one's going to do that. No one's going to do that.
Also, if somebody offers Connor Brown $5 million, you let them have him. You take
because you take the compensation, right?
Yeah,
so you've got the room, and you've got players that need to play.
$10 million.
$10 million bucks.
I hope so. Their first overall pick for the next, or their first round picks for the next 4 years.
Can you look up compensation? I think Dello, who that should be a new goal on the podcast. Every time we bring up Dello, he basically wrote like the compensation is insane. So, like, if you're gonna offer sheet someone who's actually worth it, you're gonna overpay every time, and usually that overpayment is gonna take you into extra pick territory where you're gonna have to give up 4 first or something like that. Like, do you have it?
Over 9.8 is 4 first-round picks. 7.8 to 9.8 is 2 firsts, a second, and a third.
Still 4 picks.
5.8 to 7.8 is a first, second, and third. 3.9 to 5.8 is a first and a third. And then 1.9...
That's actually not bad.
For Connor Brown?
A first round pick for Connor Brown?
You'd be lucky to get a first rounder who can score 20 goals. That's my point.
And then plus a third. So a first and a third. What salary range is Connor Brown in? Like 3
Well, looking at that, you might as well offer like the max for that range. So just go up to 5.8.
Mm-hmm. But
how bad do you need a winger?
Yeah.
How bad do you need a second line winger?
The 1.9 to 3.9 range is a second round pick.
To me, that's worth it. But what team doesn't match? Of course
it's worth it. But yeah, the Leafs are going to match that. So all you've done is pissed off the Leafs. Now, the difference, I suppose, is maybe the Leafs were about to sign Connor Brown to, say, 3.1, and now all of a sudden you've screwed them for an extra $800,000. You know, so I suppose... I don't know. It makes sense. I understand the tactical use of it. It's just they don't use them. Why are they going to start? They're not going to start.
I hope someone gets desperate one day and just because like Leon Draisaitl's not re-signed.
I think it'll take one. It'll take one person to be a dick. And then every other GM is going to be like, well, I guess it's okay now. And
they are a bunch of like, it is like a trend league, right? They follow.
Yeah, if no one's making a big deal about Draisaitl, I don't see why we should make a big deal about Connor Brown.
Exactly.
But I would offer sheet Draisaitl though. I would have offered sheet McDavid, and I think they know that. I think if there was anybody that was going to get it, it would have been Connor McDavid.
But also, just no one's complaining that he's not signed. They're just like, all right, it's the offseason. Let's take our time. So we shouldn't really complain about Connor Brown not being signed because Draisaitl's a little more important. No
yeah, I'm not going to complain about it. I guess it's one of those weapons that, yeah, you could use it. Like the Flames could screw over the Oilers. Mm-hmm. No problem. There's nothing stopping the Oilers from just turning around and doing the exact same thing. Hey, you got an RFA and just offer sheeting all of them. Like, okay, you'll get all their picks, but whatever happened to, Oilers made it 2 rounds deep, almost 3. They don't want to be losing guys. Calgary, I think, thinks they have a pretty good team.
I think they do have a pretty good team.
I think they do have a pretty good team. They don't want to be losing guys.
Battle of Alberta this year is going to be a blast.
If anything, you should offer sheet good players on bad teams.
Yeah.
You should offer sheet someone from the Fs.
Yeah, if Duchesne was up.
I mean, or like McKinnon or something like that. That's the only way that makes sense. And they might go, all right, give us the picks, you bunch of jerks.
We're giving up.
Yeah, I
Next
can't
4 years are
imagine.
going to be bad.
I don't know. It's not going to happen. I think Brown's happy to be a Leaf. I think the Leafs are happy he's a Leaf, and that's the long and short of it.
Okay. All right. I just think it's funny that deal has not... That means they must be working on something else, which I'm sure they always are.
Maybe. Well, funny you should say that, Adam. Did you get the same tweet that I did this morning?
No, I didn't.
This was from... Actually, I have the
Is it a Tyler
chart
Bozak
open.
Pokemon card? Because I got that.
No, it is not, but I retweeted that. At Chewy D23 sent a depth chart for the Leafs, Marlies, and Solar Bears.
Yes, saw that. I did see that.
So here's the depth chart on, let's just say the wings first, because some guys are either or. Okay, so going down the left, arbitrarily the left. Leo Komarov, Patrick Marleau, James Van Riemsdyk, Matt Martin, Josh Levo. Those are the Leafs. Carl Grundstrom, Andreas Janssen, Trevor Moore, Kirby Reichel, Dmitro Timashov, Tobias Lindberg, Rich Kloon, Miro Altonen. ECHL, Jean Dupuy, I think, and Josh Winquist. On the right side, William Nylander, Zach Hyman, Mitch Marner, Connor Brown, Eric Fair, and then in the quote-unquote Marlies, Kasperi Kapanen, Nikita Soshnikov. Soshnikov's second line in the Marlies, by the way. Max Novak, Jeremy Bracco.
People don't know who's Max Novak.
Oh, I have no idea. I think, okay, so there's guys that are in different colors, and I think they're signed to... yes, they
AHL
are.
only.
They're signed to AHL contracts. Max Novak is AHL only. Jeremy Bracco is an NHL contract. JJ Piccinich is AHL only. Christian Pospisil, and then ECHL, Chris Crane and Joe Perry. Center, Nazem Kadri, Austin Matthews, Tyler Bozak, Dominic Moore, Ben Smith, Colin Greening, Chris Mueller, Adam Brooks, Freddie Gauthier, and apparently they got a guy named Austin Block. On D, Jake Gardner, Morgan Riley, Travis Dermott, Martin Marinson.
That's on the left side.
Yep. Andrew Nielsen, Renat Valiev, Kalle Rosen, Andreas Borgman, Matthias Cleland. On the right, Nikita Zaitsev, Ron Hazy, Connor Carrick, Alexei Marchenko, Justin Hall, Vincent Loverdi, Michael Paliota, and Alex Goodbranson. And then in net, you know them all. Who cares? The Leafs got some guys, man. They got some guys. Every AHL signing I see, because they've made quite a few this offseason, I'm like, where are you going to play? Just give them a purple jersey. Like right away. You're on the Solar
You're going
Bears.
to Orlando, yeah.
Yeah, until guys get hurt. I mean, if you're a center, you got a shot. Mm-hmm. But, like, again, just looking down the wing, that's insane. That's insane. So behind the first four, on the left, for example, Carl Grundstrom, Andreas Janssen, Trevor Moore, Kirby Reichel. So that means you're sitting Dmitro Timashov, Tobias Lindberg, and Miro Altonen.
Yeah.
Unless you have Altonen in the middle, which it sounds like they're going to do.
Well, if you've got look at the right side for the Leafs up top. Okay, so you've got Nylander, Hyman, Marner, and Brown. If you play all those guys on the right side, one of those names has to be the fourth line guy.
Yeah. There's a couple
that's
things
crazy.
here that I'm not certain are correct. Like Hyman spent almost all of last year on the left, I think.
Yeah. But with Patrick Marleau on the team.
Yeah, I think Hyman's a natural right as well. Yeah, Fair you could put on the right or in the middle. So let's say you have him as your spare, which I think is much more likely. Then, yeah, still, how do you get Kapanen in the lineup? Levo's never going to play ever again.
Soshnikov.
Soshnikov's gone. I've never been so certain. He's got to be gone. He's got to be. Like, if I'm him, I'm asking for a trade. I don't get it. It's very, very interesting.
And it's funny because they'll probably go into the camp with this roster. And they'll probably be like, yeah, we're comfortable with it. We don't care.
I don't remember who it was who tweeted it. Again, that should be a statement that I just tattoo on my forehead. But someone went, how are they going to go into camp with this many players? And someone responded, I don't know, probably the same way that they did last year.
Yeah, they've done it. They've done it.
I get the impression you'll see a few trades or a trade or two. In in that kind of dead zone where you don't expect to see trades. Like
Now,
in November.
we know Miro Aaltonen can play center,
Yeah.
and Freddie Gauthier is out for 6 months, so
He'll be back.
he won't play till November. They're saying.
Even if he does, he probably won't be at his best, right?
So, like, Miro Aaltonen is on like the bottom of this particular chart because we just don't know what he is. But
Yeah,
I'm
not going to pick on the guy who made this.
No,
not at all.
for
Where he placed guys. Yeah, as
But
if,
I mean,
as
like-
if Leo Komarov is higher than JVR.
But my thing is,
You know?
okay, so he is listed as currently 7th in the depth chart on the left side for left winger, Miro Aaltonen, in this particular thing. Do you really think that Miro Aaltonen or Tobias Lindberg or Dmytro Timashov or Kirby Reichel, Andreas Johnson, Carl Grundstrom, any of those guys are ECHL players?
No.
No.
Oh, so they'll just be scratches or...
Well, that doesn't make sense either. You got to
Yeah.
play them. You
Yeah.
have to play. So what are you going to do?
I know. Well, even these guys, they have signed AHL deals. Like, the Marlies play those guys. Like a Pichinich or a Clune, even. Like, Clune should be on the team. I'm certainly not going to say he shouldn't be. But shouldn't guys with an NHL contract get precedent?
If they earn it.
Right. That's how it is. Now, some of you might argue, well, of course they're better than Clune. Well, okay, you're not Sheldon Keefe.
Right.
You got to explain that to him, right?
Yeah.
So the depth chart is actually even harder than that.
Yeah.
I like this depth chart that he made because people usually only make it with the NHL roster.
No, it's got the whole thing.
No, like before Justin Hall had his NHL deal, he was one of the AHL guys taking up a roster spot for someone who was under a.
I like desperately
NHL
want to show
contract.
this to Lou Lamoriello and just be like, Lou, tell us.
Yeah.
Tell us. And he'd probably look at it and go, those are names that are currently signed to this team. Like, that's all he'd say.
My new favorite thing is Lou Lamoriello interacting with Kevin McGran. Because
I don't think I've heard
McGran
it.
always asks him actual roster questions, and Lou just kind of smiles at him. And he goes, "Well, you got to try, right?" McGran's like, "Yeah, I got to try." I'm not going to tell you. Why did you ask me?
That's awesome. Robin Lehner re-signed in Buffalo. It's the Jonathan Bernier show me deal. $4.1 million for 1 year. You know what?
Isn't that exactly what Bernier? Or no, he got 2 years.
Oh, yeah, no, he did get 2. He got 2. You're right.
Same amount of money.
But I got to tell you, man, like and Buffalo fans are right to point this out. He did have strong numbers on a bad
he did.
team.
Totally. I don't know.
This is it, though. I think this is his show me year. I think he'll come through as well. I think
He's
Buffalo's
also only 26.
yeah.
Yeah.
But for goaltenders, apparently that's somewhere that's where they should be at their prime, right?
No,
Depends on what
they
model
mature a
you're-
little later.
Do they?
I
Okay.
think. I want to say. Yeah, I'd say he's about to enter his prime. Yeah. He's one of those strange goalies, a little bit like Brian Elliott, not in terms of style at all, but you go, would you take Brian Elliott for the season as your goalie? Yeah, okay, sure. Would you take Brian Elliott, in the playoffs so you can win a cup? No. Mm-hmm. Would you take Robin Lehner for a full season? And do you think you can make the playoffs with him? Yeah, sure. You want to take Robin Lehner in the playoffs? No. I'm just not into it. He worries me. He's one of those goalies who he seems to have the consistency there, and then when he falls off a cliff, boy, it's something to behold. A little bit like the Flyers goaltending last year. I still think Brian Elliott's a pretty good comparable. Mm-hmm. Like he is unbelievable, and on the days where he doesn't have it figured out, Jake Allen, first half of last year, and then he figured it out.
And drove the Blues further in the playoffs than they ever thought they'd get, especially after unloading Shattenkirk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and he actually held it together. He was the reason they beat the Wild. They should have lost that series. Man, this past playoffs was so strange, eh?
It was
so strange.
crazy weird.
Some real contenders gone first round.
Columbus and Minnesota, right off the
Columbus
bat.
should have been in there. Chicago should have been in there. Minnesota should have been in there. And then there was another one in the East. Oh, Capitals after 2. How did they lose to the Penguins?
Watch the Capitals will go further this year than they did last year, or at least they'll go as far.
That is-
because the pressure will be off.
I have been kind of thinking the same thing.
They've
I don't
still
know
got
about
Grubauer.
further. I don't know about further,
But they have Holtby and Grubauer.
I think they'll be about as good.
Yeah.
Won't win the President's Trophy, but they'll make the playoffs and they'll be fine.
Will Ovechkin make it out of the second round at any point in his career?
Man,
Never done it. He's never won a second round series.
That's crazy.
Is this the year?
Neither is Braden Holtby. Neither is Nicholas Backstrom.
Okay.
No, I know, but everyone is always like, Ovechkin, and I'm like,
There's one anchor to the team.
And boy, what an anchor! He's sure dragging them down.
what a bum.
I think it'll happen once, but I think it'll be when he's older.
You think so?
I think it'll be one of those like
when he's turned over the
we're
keys.
pushing for him. We're pushing for Ovechkin to make this.
He's going to be the graybeard.
We're doing it for old man Ovi, and I hope that happens because I love stories like that. What pisses me off about the way legacies are kind of tracked is that people base so much on how many championships you won.
Team
but yeah, but wait, if Wayne Gretzky had never won a cup, he would still be the best. If Bobby Orr had never won a cup, he would still be fucking Bobby Orr, right?
Messier
but he
had more
had
cups than
Esposito and Sanderson and all those guys. Gretzky had Messier and Curry and Coffey and Fuhrer and all those Anderson and all those guys that were around him that were just as amazing.
These articles
Not
have
just
to
as
be
amazing.
out there. I want to see an article where someone went, Messier did it in New York. How come Gretzky couldn't do it in L.A.? I want to see it. Someone must have written it.
Messier had a better team in New York.
So what? Oh, don't listen. Reasons have nothing to do with it, Adam. I just want to see that someone wrote it. I'm almost positive they did.
Oh, I'm sure it's happened. Just those ridiculous comparables that you can't prove and literally have no basis in anything.
So
let's write an article about it.
Here's a ridiculous comparable that has no basis in anything. If you took Ovechkin, you put him on the Penguins, and you put Crosby on the Capitals for their entire careers, does Ovechkin have a cup?
Can you imagine?
Well, they have
Ovechkin
Malkin.
and Malkin on
Exactly.
They would have never played on the same line, though.
No.
Why not?
Jordan Stahl might still be a Penguin then.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think of the makeup of the teams, right? I still, I don't know. Your center,
They never make the
centers
Phil
can just
Kessel
do more
trade.
for you.
They don't need to,
No, they don't need to.
but
They
they
both teams look completely different. So it's like I'm trying to go way back
Because there's no
Yeah,
Backstrom.
let's
There's
go
probably no
back.
Backstrom on the Caps too. Then
because it's funny.
Well-
The Penguins started to really get good a season after getting Crosby when they got Malkin,
yeah.
and the Capitals started to get really good a season after having Ovechkin, and they got Backstrom.
When was
Right.
the first
Might have
year
been
they
two.
won the President's Trophy? Because they've won it like 3 times.
I want to say 2007 or 8. See, that's a really
that's a tough question.
well. So the Capitals would have a 1-2 of Crosby, Backstrom.
If they got Backstrom, if they got him,
Did I say the Penguins or Capitals? Capitals would have a 1-2
Yeah.
of Crosby or Backstrom.
that'd be pretty good. That'd do okay.
Penguins would
Crosby
have
Malkin's pretty good too.
well, and that's what I'm saying. It would be Malkin and Stahl
Yeah.
with Ovechkin.
All things being
They would
equal,
still-
and potentially Kessel. I mean, if we're just trading
What
those
if-
two,
what
and
if
everything
we
else
just-
went the same,
Yeah. What if we just took 2017 rosters
and it was flipped?
and it was just flipped 1 for 1, and you just got to fill in your extra center and extra winger. on the other side.
Pretty even.
Who takes the series? Game
No,
round 2.
it's Crosby. The Capitals win the cup in 3. Like they don't even make them.
You think?
They just.
No.
Oh my God! Yes.
Well,
With
'cause-
Crosby.
no Ovechkin.
So
Ovechkin and Malkin. Like Crosby, remember that
Yeah.
Crosby's going up against Malkin, who's not, I guess, Steve, you are correct. He's not one of the top 100 players of all time. So, probably doesn't even deserve to be in this
Kuznetsov going against
conversation.
Bonino.
And
Come
think of the
on.
goaltending matchups.
This
You
is
got
a really. I like this.
Fleury Murray.
I like this.
Fleury Murray versus Grubauer Holtby is a wash, right?
No, Penguins win the goalie matchup.
You think so?
Yeah, they won it in real life. I think they win it again.
Fair. But barely, man.
is a fair point.
Barely. But
is-
Barely.
They won it.
I don't even think Murray
give
played.
to
It was
them.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, because Murray didn't come back till.
The Caps defense was really disappointing too.
It was. It looked
Yeah.
bad against the
Disappointing.
Leafs.
Yeah. I don't think Crosby wills them to that much of a
Especially if
status.
if you look at it,
man, he's unreal.
I think Steve was right going into the final or in the playoffs when he talked about the pressure on the Capitals, and that's why I think they'll do really well this year. Is now the spotlight's off them.
We nailed it though, heading into the Leafs Cap series. Forget the whole playoffs. Like just that one series, one team shouldn't have even been there, and the other team had to win the cup.
Or
and
it
like
was a failure.
Like, you talk about the psyche of the team. What did management and ownership do to help any of that? They made it way worse. We have to win this year. They basically told fans, we have to win this year, we're fucked. And then they were.
Your impression of Caps management is quite funny.
We're fucked.
It's like some weird Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Did they bring him in? We must go for it, Shattenkirk.
Who's the GM again? It's I always think it's McPhee.
McClellan.
So McClellan, McPhee, and the owner pulled over in the room. This year, fucking this year. Get it this year.
They trade for Shattenkirk, you son of a bitch. they do the bicep handshake.
I take Penguins still.
Man, I don't
Penguins in
know.
7.
Here's the thing, though. Penguins were so injured. So if we're going on those rosters, like there's no Letang. Are we going on based on injuries as well?
I mean, we've made up this much.
Crosby
Sure.
Crosby going up against like Hainsey and like who else? Daly.
They won though.
They won. You're right. But I feel
They
like
shouldn't have.
But they did.
And the thing is it comes down to, I think, position. Centerman.
Yeah, that's true.
Having the stronger centerman always gives you that advantage.
Caps would have their center depth would be Crosby, Backstrom, Kuznetsov.
I don't think they could win with that. I don't think you can win with that. No.
You're right.
What if they go cold and can't score?
You're right. Because, okay, they wouldn't have Ovechkin, but they'd still have like Justin Williams, TJ Oshie, Tom Wilson would become a 40-goal scorer overnight.
Yeah, he'd have to. He was great against the Leafs, man. He was awesome.
Burakovsky.
Nate Schmidt on defense, who was like a wow.
Yeah.
Like a revelation.
He was a revelation.
Yeah.
And then they lost.
He was one of those injury conundrums. You ever get an injury conundrum watching sports? So he got hurt, I want to say, in Game 6. And I was like, oh, but that's pretty good.
Good for us. Because he was wheels, man. He's got wheels.
I know. I didn't want him to be hurt, but I was like, that's pretty good news that he's hurt. And then they lost the game,
it was funny.
whatever.
Seeing Caps fans tweet about how happy they were Carl Alsner went down. Like, I'm like, that is a player on your team who has a physical injury, and you're happy with that?
Yeah, that's never good. Like, I mean, I'm always... When someone gets down or goes down, I get happy that someone behind them is getting an opportunity. Because I'm always excited for the unknown. But
Sure.
Like, I'm not like, Roman Polak's leg snap. That was great.
He was playing really
Sick.
well.
He was playing really well. Could have used him. Shit.
That was the difference.
I'm kind of
By the way, the
happy.
Leafs are so going to re-sign him. It's not even...
Oh, yeah.
Like
kids!
that's why they're not. That's why they haven't re-signed Connor Brown, because they need to make room for Roman Polak first.
No!
Once his knee heals up.
Imagine.
What if they're waiting on Joffrey Lupul? They just need to wait it out. He's going to come back to the team.
Bring back Loop's troops,
Yeah.
which is now Leafs troops.
Oh, is it Leafs troops?
Well, yeah.
I was trying to think of we need a neat rhyming name Leafs thing. Like we should have like a mom's night. Dominic Moore could sponsor Dom's Moms.
I like that.
There you go.
And maybe you can stay overnight at the Delta Chelsea and be Brown Town. Come on, come on, Connor Brown Town. Brown Town.
I don't think that'll go well.
There's racial undertones to that. People take that the wrong way. Yeah, you're right. Okay, fine.
They might. I'm gonna stick with Dom's Mom.
Dom's Moms. All right, I like that. I like that.
What could Ron Hainsey have? A night where prisoners get to leave their cell for a night and watch and enjoy a Leafs game. And you could
Why would they do that?
You could have Ron's cons.
This is good.
You could have Ron's cons.
On good behavior, they're just going to give tickets to a bunch of
Absolutely.
convicts and not kids.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Not children. We're going to give it to convicts.
Yeah. How about
I can't imagine the board meeting. We could give 200 tickets to underprivileged children, or there's these convicts. But Ron's cons really work, so I think we'll go with that. I gotta look at this depth chart to look at some names here. I don't know.
I think we could end that.
Maybe there's a bunch. Maybe there's a bunch of math whizzes who like they're really good at school, like really good at math. So their reward is they get Leafs tickets. I can't do it. They could be Patrick's stat picks.
What? I don't say Matthews. They're good at math. How could you not use Matthews?
I wanted to give Marleau something. Oh, what would you call them? Austin's Matthews? Austin's Matthews!
Oh, I love that.
We found it!
Wow!
Austin's Matthews!
Future analytics team for the Leafs.
You guys know Patrick's stat picks is a person. I think we should have went with that one.
Maybe if you want to get married at the ACC, you can Marleau to the ACC to get married at Center Ice.
That's
Marleau. No. It's something.
That's a little too good. Marleau. That's good.
I'm trying to think of more. It's not working.
I just can't. Patrick Stat.
Patrick
Stat. The most popular guy on the team is math in his name. How did you miss that?
I'm like, okay, there's a Matthews joke there.
Listen, I think the Leafs need to do more to recognize the blue collar people of our fan base.
Yeah, who put on their hard hats and their boots and
I need to see a night dedicated to Marner's Farmers. It doesn't even rhyme. Really?
Doesn't. No.
I want it.
No, I want it.
I'm so ashamed.
It's embarrassing. I'm a little embarrassed by this whole.
It's not. Like, I'm so confused.
Please, someone make a hockey card that says Patrick Stat Picks on it.
It doesn't even rhyme.
How did I miss Austin?
And it's Matthews was good. That was really good. You did redeem yourself. I'll give you that.
Austin's Matthews.
But there's a guy with math in his name.
I'm stupid, Jesse. What can I say? How about
couple more things before we get to the press conference. The first one is somebody sent me audio because I made a joke about the Montreal Canadiens. By the way, have you heard this story about the Montreal Canadiens charging more money for tickets if you want to print them?
Oh, I saw a tweet about it. Yeah, it's like $150 if you want to print out your tickets.
Season tickets?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Season ticket holders, like, you should treat them like gold, though. It doesn't cost $150 per person to print out tickets. That's absurd. Right?
The Canadiens
have you ever been to a printing place with a lot of ink and a lot of paper?
Yeah,
it's pretty expensive.
All right, so here it is.
$150.
The Canadiens
it's like
have
80. And then you upcharge them because you're doing it yourself.
Anybody? Okay.
I mean, they're rich,
guys.
right?
Guys.
It's 100. It's
you work it into the price.
As long as you don't charge Austin's Matthews.
Let me just tell you what this is in case you haven't heard this story. So the Canadiens have informed fans by email that tickets for the 2017-2018 season will be available in mobile format only. Season ticket holders will receive the tickets electronically on their smartphones, which can then be scanned at the Bell Center. Those who want printed tickets can obtain them for the cost of $150 plus taxes per seat. So a Canadian fan with 2 season tickets will have to pay $344.92 just to get printed tickets. Season ticket holders will also pay an administration fee of $100 plus taxes. 2 sets of printed tickets plus administration fee will cost $477.14 plus the cost of the 2 seats. In a letter to season ticket holders, Canadiens management cites security, ease of use, environmental sustainability as reasons for the change. Some fans are calling this a new cash grab. Now, I mean, I understand that to a point. You know, you don't want to print the tickets out. It's costly. It's bad for the environment. Whatever. However, if you are buying season tickets, part of the reason you buy it is to actually have those season tickets.
Yes,
they are beautifully done.
You bought the tickets to go to the game. I
know, but
I personally like the keepsake. But I don't know. Maybe
Steve
I'm in the minority.
Keeps
there.
every ticket he's ever had, right? So like,
not every. A lot of them.
Keep the ticket from that Jays game.
No.
that you guys went to? What did they lose?
12-1.
I think it was 14.
I think that's
we left at 12-1.
That's only the ninth time this month or something that they've lost by double digits.
I've
it's
seen
just-
the Jays lose by double digits like 3 times this season.
and they're still talking about not rebuilding.
It's
It's pathetic. Like I ran
I
into
miss Anthopoulos.
I ran into a sports reporter on the Sportsnet staff, and I won't say who. And
Jeff Merrick.
And I said, "How you doing?" And he's like, "Well, watching a lot of bad baseball right now." And I said they can't be serious about continuing on with this roster the way it is. And he said, "Well, the reckoning." He said the last 2 years were fun, but you knew the reckoning was coming. He said, "This is the reckoning." He said, "The problem is
happening already."
Oh yeah, they knew, dude. They knew
We had a window.
that was the
And they
window.
went for
I know
it.
they had a window, but like
Yeah.
they should be like competent. Like they're shit.
But we knew Batista was getting old. Steve
he
Pierce
was
is
getting old last year.
yeah, and Morales and Pierce were not. They're not going to cover for what Edwin, and Edwin's been okay.
Yeah. Smoke.
Smoke's been good, finally.
Yeah. Pitching went away.
But that's the thing is that
bad.
it's pitching did go away, and they could only hit home runs.
Yeah. Donaldson.
Yeah, last year was all about home runs, and then, like you said, the pitching went away, and then Donaldson was injured for the first 2 months,
Tulo's doing
and then
dick.
Tulo was out.
Well,
for a few
Tulo's
weeks.
done.
And Russell Martin's old, and
And even
Tulo and
he's
Martin
having a
I think-
bit of a bounce back,
I think
right?
Tulo and Martin are like combined for $40 million between the two of them. It's crazy.
Shit.
I don't mind Martin pitch calling. He just sucks at batting most of the time, and it's too bad.
It's like the Tulo thing. Like, he's great in the
and
field.
Devin Travis can't stay healthy. He's
No.
Oh,
never,
that poor guy.
So-
Jeez.
yeah, he's been out for like 3 months, eh?
yeah, for the last 3 years.
It's crazy. The fact that they think that they're not
For
going to
the last
rebuild.
3 years.
I would advocate trading pretty well anybody on that roster with the exception of Aaron Sanchez. Like it's
and Osuna.
and Osuna. Although they're saying that might be one of the names that goes. But like I love Josh Donaldson. But does it make sense for us to re-sign 32-year-old Josh Donaldson?
No.
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 It doesn't.
I've said things along the lines of, I just can't picture Batista in another uniform. Like, he is the Blue Jays.
I can now.
I can now. They were winning when I said that. So now that they're
Also,
shit and really need to rebuild, yeah.
Matt Sundin. Like, it happens.
It
Yeah.
does happen.
And he was a
Gretzky.
pirate. He was a pirate first, not a J.
Matt Sundin was a Nordique.
Exactly. So it happens.
Yeah, seeing Sundin in a Nordique's jersey doesn't bother me.
The Vancouver thing bugs me.
Vancouver bothers me.
It wouldn't have bothered me had the Flyer trade gone through because we would have had Jeff Carter plus a first-round pick, which we totally would have
bring
fucked
that
up,
up
by
later.
the way.
Montreal.
Montreal.
So I think it's a cash grab, but I understand wanting to push fans towards, more environmentally friendly options. Like, you don't need the paper ticket.
No,
these
you
days.
don't.
You don't. You haven't needed them for a long time. If it's only like a $5 fee, people are still going to get them printed anyway. So you got to make it ludicrous.
Or maybe just...
$150.
Well, here's the thing. Don't offer it.
Well, you have to, probably. You probably have to legally... Well, what if I don't use a phone? What if my phone's dead?
Well, if you have a computer, which you would need to sign up for season tickets,
yeah,
then you have a printer that can print out the one-sheeter, like the typical ticket that we would get.
I was about to say, Adam, don't you have parents? But they're actually pretty tech savvy.
My mom doesn't have a printer, but you could figure it out.
Some people of a certain vintage
Is that the Canadians' problem, though?
I think they're doing it the
computers.
perfect way. You want to transition to all digital, and then if somebody wants to stick in that old world, you charge them a whole bunch, and that's it. And then if they want to do it, they'll pay.
Right. You know what? If the Montreal Canadiens were winning and hadn't traded PK Subban and had done really well in the playoffs last year, this would be like, wow, Montreal, green hockey team, love that. People are just mad at them in general, I think.
I still always have to correct myself and go, they won the division.
Yeah, they did.
There's another team. Talk about teams that could have gone further. They won the division.
Ottawa was one game.
They were the hottest team in the East, or they were either the hottest or the second hottest team in the East heading into the playoffs.
And they fired their coach.
Against one of the coldest, the Rangers.
Yep.
And they lost.
And then how often does the best team win the Stanley Cup?
I think it's pretty rare.
And let's be honest, Ottawa was real close. Real close.
We haven't really given the Sens their credit, but like someone posted a depth chart of the team because it's basically set. Up front, that's a good team. They got a good team. Back end, you got some question marks, but at the same time, Carlson plays half an hour. So who cares?
and Oduya will be I think he
He'll be
gives
fine.
you a little less than Mathot gave you, but not enough that that the $5 million that Mathot was getting paid would have been worth it.
They're about the same team.
Yeah.
I love playing this game. Who's your way too early Stanley Cup final prediction?
Oh, man.
Oh boy, our July.
Yeah.
What is today?
We should make
July
one every month
25th?
and keep track.
Yeah.
We should make one every single month.
But what is our pick then?
Well,
Like,
it'll just be hilarious to see how you're just tracking our pick.
I know.
Our pick is the one we've picked the most. If we pick one a couple of times,
because like if I say a team today
What's your
and they
coursing
win
of
it,
your pick?
yeah.
if I say a team today and they win it, I'm gonna be like, see, I called it. But then in September I pick a different team. They're gonna be like, no.
Well, it doesn't matter. Let's just do it. It'll be
Okay.
funny. Nobody believes if somebody says this team will win the cup. If I tweeted that right now and I'm right next year,
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't fucking matter.
No,
I got
you don't
lucky.
really know that.
No.
Wait, I'm gonna bring up my team. I just want to make sure I'm picking the right team. Who do you
It's just
guys
at
think?
this moment on July 25th, who do you think is going to win the cup? That's the question.
I think for the first time, I want Jesse Blake to answer first. Oh,
Yeah.
and he gets up to change the battery. That's a veteran move. That's a veteran move he just did. I forgot how crafty Jesse Blake is. I got a team, and it's a little bit hypocritical given some of the things I've said about them in the past. Maybe. Well, okay. Here's the thing to remember, and I've had this conversation with many Leafs fans. They go, what about the defense, though? I'm like, every single team in this league has a weakness. Every single team in this league has a weakness. So, is the Leafs' right side as strong as you would like it to be on defense?
No.
No. So that's
It's not horrifying, though.
no, and that's their weakness, but their goaltending is good. And their
Forwards are ridiculous.
their four lines are ridiculous, each line. They're fine. Their fourth line's pretty meh. Whatever. Who cares? It's a fourth line. It's not going to make or break your team. Penguins' weakness was everything outside of like Crosby and Malkin because everybody got hurt. Mm-hmm. That was a crazy thing about the Caps losing is they didn't really have one. It didn't look like it anyway. But anyway, 28 teams out of 30, and now 29 teams out of 31, have some kind of major weakness. So I'm not worried about the Leafs not being that great on the right side. Here's my pick. I'm not happy about this pick.
I know who I got.
I look at them and I go, that's pretty good. And screw it, I'll just say it. The Anaheim Ducks.
I picked them last year, I'm pretty sure.
They made it to
And the year before.
Made it to the third round. They always seem to make it there, do decently. They're
They
a
do.
miserable, shitty team to play against. Not fun. Getzlaf's not too old. Perry's coming off a bad year. He'll probably be okay. Kessler's still got...
Ryan Kessler.
He's still got that fire in him. Lindholm's going to be better. Hopefully Gibson's better. That's a bit of a question mark. Vatanen will probably be
They
better.
have such a strong defensive core.
Fowler will probably be better. BX is going to be shit.
Fowler, I think, had the year of his life last year, though, didn't he?
Offensively.
Okay.
Defensively, he's kind of a nightmare. So here's Anaheim's defense. It looks like they only have 6 guys. Lindholm, Vatanen, Fowler, and then you got Bieksa, Holzer. That's pretty bad. And then Josh Manson,
Who's pretty good.
who's, but I mean, that's like their best right-handed defenseman. And then maybe there's someone I'm missing on their back end. Oh, Brandon Montour could bring in. They got a bunch of guys they could bring in. Like, they're a good team, and they're going to be a good team for a while because I think they just draft really well. I like the Ducks. I like the Ducks this year. Their goaltending is the biggest question mark for me.
Jesse?
Do you have an East team?
No, one team.
Only one team can win the cup.
Stanley
Oh,
Cup.
okay. I was doing my finals pick or whatever.
No. Just one cup.
I had a winner and a West and East, but I guess I'll just go with my winner of the 2018 Stanley Cup, the Edmonton Oilers.
Whoa!
That's not a terrible pick.
You have a team who went to the Western Conference Finals, who's bringing back, I think, everybody from their core, and you have a year older McDavid
And a year older Cam Talbot.
and a year older Cam Talbot. But I think he's like at his peak. I think he'll be like break even.
They need to say, you know what's going
Which
to...
is still pretty good.
Yeah.
What's going to be a challenge for them is they're missing Andre Sekera for like the first little while of the season.
As long as he's there in June,
Hey, man,
They'll
McDavid
be
can play
fine.
defense.
I think they'll be fine.
be good in June.
And, we talk about like the little parts not the little parts, the major factors, actually, that you need to win the Stanley Cup. Cam Talbot can win you a Stanley Cup, and Connor McDavid can win you a Stanley Cup. You know, as long as you have a good supporting cast, which they did last playoffs. Got a 1-2 punch of McDavid, Draisaitl, Cassian's a demon. Lucic is overpaid, but he's still in there. You know, if Clefbaum stays healthy, if Sekera can get back to health, Darnell Nurse takes another step. There's all these other guys. Nuge had kind of a down year. We're going to the West, though. That's interesting that you asked about the East.
If your third line center is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, you're in pretty good shape. Because you got to think Draisaitl's going to move to center. Now, you're both wrong. And I'll tell you why. The Tampa Bay Lightning exist.
I was about to say maybe
They
I
were
should
my
have
pick
picked the
in the
Lightning.
East.
Maybe I should have picked the Lightning.
Is there a deeper team than the Tampa Bay Lightning?
The whole division lineup for the playoffs makes it so hard for a team in the Metro to win. That's why I can't believe the Penguins won. Like, looking back, I can't believe the Penguins won. You're hard up to even pick who's going to make the playoffs out of the Metro.
Yep.
Is the path for the Stanley Cup, at least for the final, ever going to be clearer for the Tampa Bay Lightning?
Then right now?
Yeah.
Nah, it may not be.
I don't think it is. And
Like,
I know
let's-
we're picking a team that lost last year, but we know why they lost.
I just want to throw their defense at you. Hedman, Strawman, Coburn, Girardi, Suster, Dotchin, and don't forget Sergachev,
Who will make the
who
team?
will make the team.
Yes.
And then you've got on forward Stamkos, healthy, hopefully. If they're healthy, I think they're unstoppable. Stamkos, Callahan, Palat,
I forgot about
Johnson, Kucherov, Killorn, who you would think is going to have a better year. They signed Chris Kunitz as well. Nemestikov has one more year before he's gone. And then you get into guys like JT Brown and Condra. Cedric Paquette had a good year last year. Braden Point looks like he's going to be pretty...
Oh,
like, you know what I mean?
that's horrifying.
Yeah, like that's a scary
Oh
team. And
my
then you've
God.
got Vasilevsky, who and Budai.
I think Vasilevsky's he's the question mark there, but like if the
23 years
answer
old.
is he's good, they win the cup.
All he has to be is good. League average. Be league average.
Few teams have a lot of teams have a really good goalie and one of a really good offense or a really good defense. Mm-hmm. Tampa's got a bit of a question mark in net, but he should be pretty good. And a rare combination of an elite forward group and an elite defense group. If they don't win the Stanley Cup next year, it's their fault. That or it's just hockey.
Also,
because-
fuck 'em.
Also, fuck them. I mean, you know, though, as long as we're on the Lightning and we're talking about the East here, is it shocking if the Leafs make it
To the finals?
to the dance?
Is it
Yeah. Shocking.
shocking? I could
Yeah.
see second, third round. I don't think it's shocking. I think it's surprising. Shocking would have been last year. That's shocking, right?
That's shocking. No,
Shocking
it's
is
still
like there's
shocking.
no fucking way, and then it happens, right?
No, you're 2 years out of finishing in last place. That's shocking. If anything, is
The
shocking.
roster was so overturned.
I'd be
though. Like,
surprised. I'd be surprised, not shocked. If that makes any sense.
well, I just look at the East and go, who's better? And the answer to who's better, there aren't many teams, and the teams that are better, I don't think it's that huge of a gap. Mm-hmm.
I worry about Philly. I think Washington's going to go down a little bit. I think this might be the year the Rangers fall off. Maybe.
Well, okay, I
and then
just
what
look at-
happens with Ottawa and Montreal and Carolina?
I look at playoff series.
Who's bad? Who's bad?
Who are the Leafs in the East? Who are the Leafs clearly worse than? Like, clearly.
Okay, let me
I go Tampa, probably Pittsburgh,
Yes. There's-
because they won the cup.
definitely.
Washington? I don't know if that's clear.
I don't think anymore.
Philly? I don't think so. Carolina? No. Rangers? No. Islanders? No. Montreal? No. I don't think so. Ottawa? No. Like, all the teams I'm not saying the Leafs are better than, but like they're at least even. Mm-hmm. Who else was in there?
Well, it's impossible to find the standings from last year at NHL.com, which
Florida?
I'm trying to pull up here.
Not scared. New Jersey.
Here we go.
Detroit, Boston,
By conference. Okay.
Buffalo.
So, is Washington better than Toronto?
I think it's even. I think Toronto could beat them.
Is Pittsburgh better than Toronto?
Toronto almost beat them last year.
Is Pittsburgh better than Toronto?
We just
Yes.
did this.
Yes. I'm just running through them all. Columbus.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, I forgot Columbus.
Rangers.
I don't think so.
Montreal.
I don't think so.
Ottawa.
Like, I mean, at least even.
Boston.
I think Toronto kills them in a series.
Islanders.
Toronto beats them.
Tampa for sure. Philly.
Tampa's better. Philly, that's an even series.
Carolina.
Leafs probably beat them, but it's more even than you think.
Panthers.
They beat them.
Detroit.
They killed them.
Buffalo, New Jersey.
They killed them. Yeah.
New Jersey's getting better, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year.
Buffalo's interesting.
I just don't know. I look at that conference and go, other than Detroit, who's bad?
I just look at that and go, the Leafs are about maybe the third best team in the East. And that's all it takes. That's all it takes, man.
Just get in.
Get in and magic happens. Magic. I'm just very excited to be a Leafs fan right now.
Apparently, Detroit's still trying to shop Peter Mrazek as well. Jimmy Howard.
Well, that makes sense.
They're saying Jimmy Howard will be their starter next year. And also, interestingly,
What happened there?
They are. I guess the goalie coach for the Montreal Canadiens has said the days of Carey Price starting 65 games a year are done. They want Al Montoya to start, or who do they have? It's Al Montoya, right?
It's Al Montoya.
They want him to do more than 19 games
Charlie
he played last year.
Lindgren. I mean, if you're gonna ride him like crazy, and then go into the playoffs like that too, and then still depend on him to do everything, kind of makes sense. Oilers should really go out and get a backup. Who's their backup, by the way? Is it still Brassois? Like, they can't play Talbot 70-plus games and then the playoffs start.
Brassois.
That's not good
But
enough.
he signed. Yeah, Brassois.
That's not good enough. That's not, unless he took a step, which how on earth could he have? He didn't play. They started last season with Jonas Gustafsson as their backup. Remember that?
I barely do now.
I want to forget it. I just want to forget it all.
I think they do. Yeah, that's not good enough.
Yeah, they
man.
They could have done better. Especially, I mean, is Bernier re-signed yet?
Colorado.
Yeah.
Ah, shoot. See, that's a guy I would have taken as a good backup in Edmonton.
Maybe he got $2 million. Like, you couldn't have signed it like a McElhaney, you know? Mm-hmm. Why not? Someone who's not Brassois. Like at least let the kid play some games. Unless your plan is to let him play those games in the NHL next year, in which case, okay, fine, that's your choice. But you can't. I don't think you can play goalies 70-plus games and then depend on them in the playoffs. Like Martin Brodeur. I think that's
done. Yeah.
Watch them win anyway. Even if and this is what makes arguments difficult. Just because something worked once doesn't make it the right choice.
Right. Yeah.
You're not supposed to win cups the way the Bruins did. You know? Being clearly outmatched and depending on your goalie. Look, the Bruins were still a good team. But then a lot of people were like, you know what? Yeah, we're going to do it that way.
Yeah.
Didn't necessarily work.
The Canucks and the Leafs, notably.
Yeah. And you're supposed to win cups the way the Canucks were built, and it didn't work. Well, it's just friggin' hockey, man. This damn sport. These past playoffs made me say this damn sport more than any in recent memory.
That's why the first two rounds are the greatest. They're
Gong
just,
show.
it's like a demolition derby. Have you ever been to one of those where they start out and there's like 8 cars and they drive back and forth and whatever car is not smashed up the most at the end of it wins?
It's like short track speed skating.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's just crazy.
Short track speed, the fastest skater does not matter.
No.
It's just who's standing at the end of the race. They all friggin' fall down. It's my favorite thing in the Olympics because I'm like, who cares? Who's the favorite? Doesn't matter. Let's go.
Let's do the press conference.
I never know whether to put that before or after the actual noise.
Yeah, why do we have a noise for that?
Do you need? We have it.
Like we have the noise. It's been produced. Like
so, I never know.
I figured you would just take my audio out and then put the actual.
Or you could make it easy and just not. Just not. Can't even with you.
Aaron Simard said, "Hi. Just wanted to say I love you, Adam. Okay, thanks.
Whoa,
bye.
what's up, Aaron? Thank you. When does that happen?
That's it. Oh,
40 other
P.S.
people
Fuck
just
you.
vomited.
That was it. That was the entire message.
Well,
I
thanks,
thought I'd
Aaron.
read. It was
Appreciate
very
it,
nice.
man.
And
Or
for
is it? Well, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. So whoever you are, thank you.
is it Aaron or
This is
Aaron.
This is something I know nothing about, so I think you guys can debate this. Peeve the Sheev wrote on Reddit, who would win in a fight, Star Wars or Marvel?
Well, Star Wars. Lightsaber.
no
Are you kidding me?
Marvel?
They have like superheroes though.
Yeah.
You have regular Star Wars people are regular people.
No,
right?
you get the Force and you Force choke the shit
thing
out of
about-
every one of them.
No, in the
No, but they're
Star
humans,
Wars
right?
universe, the majority of people and fighters suck. The majority of them suck.
But Jedi. What's same with the Marvel
and you got
universe?
a few really good ones. Yeah, I guess you're right.
There's like five, 6 guys.
But what are their powers?
you guys
They
ha-
jump and flip real good.
They can Force
And they
choke
got
from
the
a distance, and they have a sword that can cut through anything.
But could Darth Vader's force overpower like Thor or the Hulk?
Yes,
I don't know about
he
that.
can lift a fucking starship.
Yeah, but what about the Hulk?
You don't have Superman.
No, because that's DC.
Oh,
You
see,
do
now
not
you're
have
getting
Superman.
into shit I don't know.
It's Iron Man.
Google it.
My
Hulk,
nerd lines are very
Thor.
strange.
Thor's a god,
try.
so Thor's a god.
Darth Vader is not better than God.
You've got
He couldn't even beat Odin.
Ant-Man. You've got
You have
Spider-Man.
Yeah. You have Iron Man.
You've got Black Widow and the guy with the bow and arrow, who's sort of boring.
Iron Man is basically Star Wars.
Yeah.
No, Star Wars is a spiritual thing. That the Force runs within you.
Who's that guy?
Iron Man is not Star Wars. Get out of
You
here.
have Captain America.
Yeah, he's on some roids, man.
Do you have the X-Men? You have all the X-Men.
Are they Marvel?
Isn't that an X-Men? No, I don't think.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
Wolverine.
that's-
Wolverine's the first guy right in front.
Yeah, you have all the X-Men.
You can bullshit. You can
Are
blow out
the
Wolverine.
X-Men? Can the X-Men alone could beat Star Wars? Couldn't they?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so, man.
Like we just
This is
need
the-
we need
Oh, the Fantastic Four would be tough.
we need like
It's
a
too bad all
March
their movies
Madness
suck.
bracket. Like could Gambit beat like Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Like a March
No
Madness
way.
bracket?
Gambit would get owned by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right, okay, so Obi-Wan makes it
Second
on.
round, yeah.
But how about Iron Man?
Iron Man's just a suit, man. You could.
But it's a really good suit, and he's an old
by our
Brock
standards.
man.
The
then
Star Wars
then-
universe
okay.
is thousands of years ahead of
Okay,
us.
so he beats him. Does he beat Thor?
Does who beat Thor?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That'd be a tougher one because Thor has the hammer, and Thor is a god, and that's tough to beat.
So no.
So he
then
smushes that
Thor
old man.
wins that one.
Okay,
I think Thor isn't tough against Darth Vader.
the Flash,
Does he beat
Against
Darth
the
Vader?
Flash.
Darth Maul,
What is that?
the dude with
He's got the red and black face with the spikes on his head, and he's got the double lightsaber.
From
Yes, you
episode
know.
1.
Yes, he's just
him.
lying.
You know him if you saw
I
him.
No,
literally
don't even give him that. He knows exactly what we're talking about.
I know Darth Vader.
You know Darth Maul.
The dude who's the bad guy, and then there's another Darth. I had no idea.
Maul.
Yeah, there's tons of Darths. That's part of the whole Sith
Sidious.
thing. Darth Sidious.
I had
I
no
don't even
idea.
know Star Wars well, and I know these names.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
yeah.
Like, okay, Magneto, like comic book Magneto, not old one from the movies. What's his name again?
I don't know.
The actor. Oh my
I
god,
don't know.
I'm so ashamed.
Ian McClellan.
Yes,
Ian
thank you.
McClellan.
Magneto versus Qui-Gon Jinn.
I think that'd be a
it's
fair
Magneto.
matchup.
Shut up.
Dude, you haven't
Come
seen
on.
Qui-Gon Jinn fight.
I've seen Qui-Gon Jinn fight. Okay, Qui-Gon Jinn
Qui-Gon
versus
Jinn was
Liam
trained
Neeson.
by Yoda, man. He's trained by Dooku and Yoda.
Who's the toughest guy in Star Wars?
I would think Darth Vader. You
Okay.
can see, because remember, the Darth Vader was like left at the side of a volcano, missing 2 legs and an arm, and they put him back together in that suit, right? Because he was Anakin Skywalker.
Don't
So,
say it just like I know it.
this
I
is-
literally don't know, Adam.
Darth
As
Vader-
everyone knows, Luke Skywalker versus the Hulk.
Luke Skywalker wins every time.
Okay, so which one of those guys could beat Darth Vader?
Princess
and then
Leia
you,
versus
and then you win.
versus Storm.
Ooh, Storm's pretty freaking ridiculous, right? She's got the like, she can bring in a storm. She can bury you in snow.
She can bring in a storm.
Storm beats Darth Vader.
But would he beat the baby deer saved by the golden retriever at the beach that might still die?
Now, are these all? That's true. You know, they both might still die. What if one wins the fight, but the other is mortally wounded? They might both still die. Their superpowers.
It's tough. I don't know. We'll leave that one for
maybe.
Reddit, and I'll get a bunch of comments about how someone hates me because they disagree with me or whatever.
So we're just talking 1-on-1 battles. What if it's 4-on-4?
Ooh, 4-on-4 would be
So
sick.
you got somehow the light and the dark
Here's the one thing.
teamed up. So we got Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Darth Sidious take on the Avengers. Who wins?
Here's where I said the Avengers have the advantage in the sense that they can do more things. If you can combo them, like 1-on-1, I think Jedi are stronger, but when you have like Marvel, like Avengers, they each have their own strength that's different from everybody else, right? Whereas Jedi are all sort of the same.
You guys, Marvel has Groot.
I am Groot.
From Guardians of the Galaxy. I think Groot wins.
Still haven't seen those movies.
Really good. Really, really good.
I saw Dunkirk. That was a good one. I went to the theater and it was good. You're supposed to see it in IMAX, though. I didn't see it in IMAX. I regretted it.
You're supposed to see it in 75 millimeter IMAX.
70.
No.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Jesse. Don't go crazy.
Okay, Quentin Tarantino over here.
How's Game of Thrones, Steve?
It's really good. There's the Hound. He's all mad.
How much do you hate yourself?
Is this a question, or are you just
Is this
coming
from
up?
you, or yeah?
From Blake Jesse.
From
a lot.
Brendan from Sobeys. How much do you kick yourself for the Marleau signing if Tavares becomes a UFA?
If Tavares becomes a UFA, like they'll move heaven and earth to get him. Like
I don't think the Leafs can afford him. Either way, man.
Yeah,
I don't like if you've got Matthews, Nylander, and Marner. How even without Marleau, how do you afford Tavares as well? And is that what you want? Do you know what I mean? Like obviously you want Matthews, Tavares. Obviously.
so. Let's say. Sorry, what were you going to say, Jesse?
I was going to say, say you needed, how much is it going to take to sign Tavares? Let's say it's $9 million.
I think it'd be 10, 11.
Okay,
Let's say 10.
10. Make it a round number. If you take Marleau's contract away and you take JVR's contract away, there is literally
Bozak.
$10 million.
Yeah, but
no, just those two guys.
Take Bozak, take Komarov, and take JVR away, which they're all up next summer. There's your money.
But then also Matthews, Nylander,
Sure.
Marner.
Yeah.
So okay,
But but next summer the only one you have to re-sign is Nylander.
Yeah. But the
Yes.
extra 6.2 to Marleau couldn't
you
hurt.
can find 6.2.
Oh yeah, you can make
If you're
it
the
work.
Leafs, you can find 6.2.
I would trade Marleau if you needed to trade Marleau. If it was
can't, no movement.
If it was to yeah, but you can get him to waive that if you can. I would be like, here, take Marleau and my first round pick because I want Tavares. If you wanted him that badly, right? Like, just unload it.
I wouldn't quite do that, but there's
You can do it.
Stuff you can do.
I don't think. I mean, man, I would love to have Tavares on the Leafs, but I just don't see it happening. I've never seen it happening.
I was just thinking, how much would Matthews re-signed, Tavares, Marner, and Nylander cost?
Because I think Tavares I think Matthews is going to be 10, 11
The number I just came up with in my head, optimistically, is $35 million.
for those four guys.
Now,
not too bad.
what a four, but it's
Yeah.
4.
35 on those 4 guys seems about right.
I think what may hurt you is your Zach Hyman deals, your Connor Brown deals, your Nikita Zaitsev deals, those things that chip away.
I think we're getting caught up in the details. Yeah, but you need a team.
I know.
Like-
I know.
Not really when you have Tavares and Matthews.
Yeah, you're
There's
right.
One, two.
Who cares who else is playing?
What other team do you need?
It's whenever I had to do a fantasy draft in NHL 2001, late in the draft, I would get Patrick Schellberg and put him as my top line left winger. You know why? He had a hockey stick under his name, which meant he had a hard shot. Cross crease pass, bam! Patrick Schellberg.
55 goals.
Rocket Richard winner every year. Peter Forsberg setting him up every time.
I honestly don't think Tavares is going to leave the island. Even though it's not the island anymore, it's Brooklyn.
Yeah,
I don't think he's leaving. I
Sort
think
of that
he's
Carey Price thing, where like I don't think it made the most sense for him to re-sign there. But you know, the team who has enough money to sign you is most likely the team that already has you, right? And he's already built this thing. You're the captain of the team. You're the face of the franchise. You got all these obligations. Stamkos didn't do it. I wonder if that factors in.
Mm-hmm.
He's been hanging out with Crosby all summer.
Tavares?
Yeah. Well, in Nova Scotia anyway.
Mm-hmm. Has been kidding.
Marchand didn't leave. Weber did. But that's it. And look at all that bullshit. I don't think he's going to leave. But he might. But he might not. But he might.
Yeah, I
But
don't
he might
think
not.
so.
I look forward to talking about this for a year.
Man.
We could be like, you know what? The Leafs are heading into Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight, but first we need to talk about John Tavares' pending contract.
And is he coming next year? I just don't think he's going to. No. I don't see it. Any more questions?
Nope.
That's it.
That's it.
I wouldn't be able to handle life if the Leafs were in the Stanley Cup Final.
It'd be
You guys want some NHL 18 beta codes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
We can talk afterwards.
Wait, actually?
How do you have beta codes?
We could talk afterwards.
Ooh. All right.
You said that like, hey, kid.
I just got
Want to buy a watch?
I just got a fun DM from a listener who maybe wants to sauce us some beta codes.
Yo, this guy's totally going to hack our bank account.
Fun
Pretty
DMs,
stoked
fun
for that.
DMs are fun.
That's interesting.
We'll see.
I did not get that DM. I'm upset. I'm angry now. I'm angry. I am the one who gets free things.
Also, no, I'll ask you after.
We are working on some names for the show.
We have 2 confirmed guests.
Can we say who they are?
Yeah, sure.
We just don't know when on them, right?
No, I do.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Steve has not told us.
No, sorry. No, I told you one.
Oh, okay.
Gus Katsaros. I forget the date on that.
That'll be in September.
Yeah.
And Gus is a scout, and he works with McKean's. And what I'm excited about with that episode is it'll be able to... Scouting is like a mystifying thing, right? I always find like in scout, it's like, what do the scouts actually do?
We had him on a long time ago, and you weren't there.
That's right.
It was just me and Chris, actually.
So I want to know, like, what's it take to be a scout? What is a scout? What do they do? What's the day-to-day? When we draft a guy out of St. Andrews, you know, obviously an NHL scout saw the guy play. How did that all work?
Well, and so his thing is he's a pro scout.
Exactly.
So when it comes to the amateur stuff, I'm not sure what he knows, but I'm sure he'll bestow
know.
upon us what he knows.
He'll know.
He's very open and honest about what he does and doesn't know. And then August 8th, I've actually asked Mike Augello, Mike in Buffalo, to join us. He's
Amazing.
got a really interesting story, and he's going to come in all the way from Buffalo.
To be on this show?
Yes, so that's really
Wow.
cool. There's a bunch of others. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about half a dozen that have agreed to come on, but we don't have confirmed dates, so I don't want to tell you who they are in case they don't come on. Because a few of them actually agreed to come on last summer, and then we couldn't figure out a date, so they never came on.
Right. So we're working on that.
Yeah.
And until then, thank you so much for listening. We will be back next week. Is it the long weekend yet?
I don't know.
Not this week.
I don't think so.
Every day is a long weekend for you in the summer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll make a video about this soon, but I've started writing my book, and I've already said that. And I'm really going to start hammering it next couple weeks. I want to get several dozen thousand words written. If there's anything you want me to put in there, anything you can think of, any questions you have, let me know.
All right. Thanks so much for listening. We will talk to you next week.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.
Today, we're going to say goodbye to Linkin Park's Chester Bennington. So if you haven't heard, the Linkin Park singer took his own life this morning at his house in Los Angeles. He struggled with drugs and alcohol for years, and of course, mostly the root cause, which is often just depression and anxiety. He's spoken openly about having suicidal thoughts before in interviews and in his music. And he says, one of the things that caused it was abuse by an older man when he was much younger. But, Chester and Linkin Park on the whole took that pain and took that anguish and turned it into an escape for the rest of us. And those of us who felt those same awful feelings, like we all do from time to time, and maybe we couldn't understand them or articulate them in that same way, they could. And we got that through them. And today I think we've lost one of our generation's greats. Now, if you're like me, you grew up with Linkin Park, you know how special they were. They went to places, like I just said, with their music that society pretended just didn't exist or didn't want to talk about. But beyond that, Chester was a loving husband and a father to 6, who he was often taking photos with and goofing around with. And he was also very close with with Chris Cornell, who recently took his life as well. And actually, Chester sang at Chris's funeral. And this seems like an extremely dark twist, but I think we ought to bring it up. Today would have been Chris Cornell's 53rd birthday. Now, it's amazing to me that one disease, one that so many of us struggle with, can make someone who's loved by millions of people feel alone enough to take their own life. And it shows us the disease's power, and it shows us we've still got a long way to go in fighting it, but we are fighting it. And it's a good time to mention this. If you're feeling alone, there's no shame in that. If you're feeling down for days, for weeks, for months with no end, that's not your fault. And it does not need to be normal for you. If you feel like you're not loved, you so are loved. Anyone for help. Depression is a pernicious and nasty disease, and it touches us all. And you don't have to be alone anymore in fighting it. So anyway, with all of that out of the way, I just want to say we want to help you. We all want to help each other. And people like Chester Bennington, like Chris Cornell, like the millions of them before, they didn't die in vain. We are fighting this together. So I want to play this for you because Chester actually came to KISS in March and recorded a beautiful stripped-down version of Linkin Park's latest single, Heavy for Us. We're going to play that for you now in his memory. Thank you for listening.